Hi, it's Mickey. If this is the first video that you are watching from me, you should probably watch something else because this is not going to be my typical video. If you know anything about me, you know that I am really positive and I'm upbeat and I'm happy all the time. So if I come across as excited or really happy in this video, just know that that is how I act in front of a camera. If you know me, you also know that I'm not the best with my words. I'm not very concise and I stutter and I'm kind of awkward, and so I have written down the points that I want to talk about. So if you see me glancing, it's because I have it written down in front of me so that I can convey everything that I wanted to tell you guys. There's been a lot of rumors floating around about whether I am still a nurse, whether I've converted to a full-time influencer, and people making me out to be something that I'm not. I'm reading really hateful and hurtful comments online about myself, and people saying that I haven't been working as a nurse since last year and that I'm a fake nurse, and I want to assure you that those statements are false. It is really, really hurtful to read comments about yourself that are untrue. My purpose with my social media platforms since the beginning has always been to educate, to uplift, and to spread positivity. I want you guys to hear directly from me what's happening so that I can clarify the situation, and I hope that you can watch this video in its entirety so that I can share my side of the story. First of all, before anything, I want to apologize that I haven't been able to keep you guys in the loop about everything that is going on in my private and my personal life. I'm the kind of person where if something is happening to me, I like to wait until I've resolved the situation or come up with a better solution so that I can share the positive news with you guys instead of sharing the negativity and like the challenges without identifying how I can continue to move forward. Sometimes I don't even have those answers yet, so I choose to reserve that information until I'm ready to share it. I've shared this time and time again, but 2019 was a really difficult and challenging year for me. There's still a lot of pieces of my private life that I can't necessarily share with you guys completely because it involves not only myself but also the people around me. So I'm gonna do my best to explain what's going on without disclosing other people's privacy. So starting from the very beginning, in September of 2018, that is when I accepted my very first nursing job. It was in Los Angeles. It was for a major hospital in a unit that I had dreamed of working in for a very long time. I loved that job from the bottom of my heart. I loved my coworkers. I loved what I got to do every day. Not going to lie, the first 6 months was extremely difficult and the learning curve was seriously no joke, but I genuinely loved that job. When I got this job, I was really, really excited, and I did a really poor job of protecting my own privacy, and so it was really easy for people online to piece together where I worked, what unit I worked in. This led me to have a lot of safety issues and put me in really dangerous situations because people online were able to track down where I was. In 2019, something really difficult happened to my family and I. I'm sorry that I can't share more details about exactly what it is, but please know that it broke every single person involved. At this point, I had been away from my family for just over 4 years in Los Angeles, and I have always been someone who has been really, really, really close to my family. When I was in college, I called my parents for at least an hour every day, and at this point, I had just been away from my family for a very long time. And with everything that happened, my parents asked if it would be possible for me to move home. And of course, I also wanted to move home. I wanted to be a better daughter. I wanted to be there in person to support them. And 4 years is a really, really long time to be away. And so I made the really, really difficult decision to leave behind my first job that I loved so, much, to move back to Northern California where my family was. In Northern California, I accepted 2 different nursing jobs. The first one is working as a pediatric ICU nurse at the bedside at one of my local hospitals. And the second one is working as a remote nurse. Basically, we are working with primary care practices, and I get to practice nursing care remotely, whether that means checking in on patients, triaging, writing visit summaries, following up with patients about their medications, about their lifestyle modifications. Both jobs are nursing jobs that require me to use my nursing license, but one of them is in the hospital and the other one I get to remotely work from home. For privacy reasons and for my own safety, I had learned from my past experiences not to ever disclose the name of either of these employers, and I will never in the future disclose any of the name of my employers just for my own safety. And of course, you guys know that I have always loved creating content on social media, educating you guys, posting inspirational content. Basically, I was juggling a lot of balls at the same time. I was working over 100 hours a week. I was really overworked. I was waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning and not going to sleep until really late. I was juggling 2 different nursing jobs, and there would be stretches where I'd work 14, 15 days in a row without a single day off, and it just really took a toll on my mental health and being able to take good care of myself. And keep in mind, while all this is happening, my family and I are still trying to cope with what happened. When 2020 was about to roll around the corner, I decided that I had to make a change, that I couldn't continue working an unreasonable amount of hours every week, and that I wanted to put myself first. I felt really unhappy, I felt overworked, and my skin was breaking out. I barely got any sleep, and I decided that I wanted to change that. But in order to change that, I had to make the really difficult decision of putting some parts of my life on pause, or to stop some parts of my life so that I can make more time for myself. In 2020, my family also moved to a different part of Northern California, which would make my commute to the hospital there and back over 3 hours. So in February of 2020, I decided that I was going to take a leave from my hospital position working in the pediatric ICU so that I could better take care of myself and figure out a better schedule before I went back. During this entire time, I've still been working as a remote nurse, interacting with patients, making sure that patients have their test results, making sure that they get their refills, that they understand their care plan, and I'm writing visit summaries, all the nursing care that you would normally do in a primary care clinic, but I get to do from my home. Shortly after I put in my leave, coronavirus really escalated and shelter-in-place orders were issued all across the country. Of course, I, like everyone else, was extremely scared and wondered what I could do to help support the healthcare system. It is true that hospitals, adult ICUs, emergency departments are absolutely slammed all across the country, but also because of coronavirus, all of the elective procedures, surgeries, checkups, anything that doesn't need to be done right now is being canceled. That means that there's actually a lot of empty hospital beds across the nation, and they're being kept empty so that in anticipation of coronavirus patients that come in, or people who are seriously ill who really do need to be admitted, they will have those beds available should they need them. I am trained as a pediatric ICU nurse, which means that I take care of patients 21 years old and younger. I have no experience working with adults, and unfortunately, those are the kinds of nurses that are needed right now, especially in the adult ICU and the emergency department. Instead of training existing nurses like myself to become an adult ICU nurse or an ED nurse, which can take anywhere from at least 5 weeks to 10 weeks, and even so, I would be unexperienced in that field, it is much easier for hospitals to hire travel nurses who already have experience working in the adult ICUs, who already have experience in this knowledge base, so that they can jump right in instead of having to be trained and waiting for this learning period. I know this is also a really confusing concept because all you see in the media is that nurses are needed. We're short nurses. First of all, they are short a very specific type of nurse that I don't qualify for. And nurses across the entire country, many nurses in different specialties such as pediatrics are being furloughed, being laid off, or being called off from their shifts because there aren't the normal patient volumes that we usually take care of. And those beds are instead being kept empty in anticipation for other cases, for COVID patients. So I wondered what I could do in my capacity to support this pandemic, and I came to two conclusions. Number one, I added on extra shifts for my current remote nursing job. I offered to work any day, anytime, as long as they needed my support. I was willing to work. I wanted to make sure that patients were still getting the care that they needed, especially during such a scary time. And number two, I saw so much misinformation online. People claiming that certain medications or certain remedies were going to cure coronavirus, or that coronavirus is completely fake, or that it's just like the flu. As a healthcare professional, seeing that information online and knowing that people could believe in that was just so scary to me. And I wanted to do my part to help educate, to help correct the information, to help people understand what you can do to protect yourself and the people that you love. You'll see from the very beginning of my social media journey that I have been educating people about various different health topics, trying to break down these really complex ideas into simpler, more digestible terms for people. And I've been doing this before coronavirus, and my intent has always been to educate and to uplift, and that has and will never change. If you see me posting content every day, it's because I batch my content on my days off. So what that means is many creators do this, but I just put on a bunch of different outfits, I change my makeup, and I film a bunch of things on the days that I am off so that I can post them consistently throughout the week. That doesn't mean that I am not working as a nurse. So to clarify, yes, I am a nurse. I am working remotely to help support the pandemic, to help support and coordinate patient care during this time. But no, since February, I have not been working directly in a hospital. I want to sincerely apologize to anyone who I have confused during this time. I have never ever claimed to be a frontline healthcare worker. Especially as a nurse, I understand how much sacrifice it takes and how much recognition they deserve. It's really sad to me that it took a whole pandemic for healthcare workers to finally be recognized for the work that they've been doing all this time. I hope that you can understand that everything happened really quickly, really unexpectedly. I've said this time and time again, but I am and always will be working as a nurse. I love my job so incredibly much, and I would never give it up for anything. There are just so many opportunities to grow within nursing, and so the type of nursing, the way that I practice nursing may be different as time goes on. I might be working in a hospital, I might be working in a clinic, I might be working remotely, and at some point I also want to go back to school. Sorry, my battery died, so that's probably why the angle is a little bit different. But again, I just wanted to say that I sincerely apologize. I never had the intention to hurt anyone or to deceive anyone. So I'm truly sorry if I made you feel that way. I am always someone that's really positive, really optimistic, and creating happy content. And before coronavirus or after coronavirus, I have still been making the same kind of content because when I'm stressed and uncertain about what's going on, I love to go on YouTube and watch my favorite YouTubers and de-stress and eat popcorn. And that's why when you see my videos still being happy and excited, I don't want to show you guys the negative parts of my life. I make lighthearted videos because I hope that someplace, somewhere, it can put a smile on somebody's face. And I don't want to be the person spreading negativity, especially during a time where the world is already so heavy. I'm truly sorry if you felt that my content was ingenuine during this time. Lastly, I want to say thank you to all of our frontline workers, whether you are working in a grocery store, at a post office, or you are a healthcare worker. And of course, thank you also to everyone supporting our frontline workers. I hope that hearing what's going on firsthand from me clarifies some of the misunderstandings and some of the ideas that might have been running through your head. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, to hear my side of the story. As always, please continue to practice physical distancing, wash your hands, and continue to stay home.